What happens if you pour rice water into your lemon tree every single day? It sounds like the ultimate organic gardening hack, a free fertilizer that promises lush growth and abundant fruit. But does daily application lead to a citrus paradise or a slow-motion disaster? The truth is far more nuanced than the viral videos suggest, and getting this wrong could cost you your entire harvest. Stay with me, because today we are separating the internet myths from the botanical facts to keep your trees alive and thriving. Before we dig into the soil science, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are building a community of practical, no-nonsense growers who want real results without the guesswork, and I don't want you to miss our next deep dive into natural plant nutrition. Let's start by understanding exactly what is inside rice water, because you cannot use a tool effectively if you do not understand its mechanics. Rice water is not magic, it is simply the starchy runoff left behind after rinsing or boiling rice. Chemically, it is a suspension of carbohydrates, primarily amylose and amylopectin, which are long chains of glucose molecules. When you rinse rice, you are washing away surface starches, along with trace amounts of minerals that were present in the grain or the processing facility. In terms of primary macronutrients, rice water contains very low levels of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. You might find traces of NPK, but we are talking about fractions of a percent, nowhere near the concentration of commercial fertilizer. However, it does contain meaningful amounts of micronutrients, specifically manganese, zinc, iron, and magnesium, which leach out during the washing process. These micronutrients are essential cofactors for enzymatic reactions in plants, even though they are needed in tiny quantities. Beyond minerals, rice water is rich in vitamins, particularly B vitamins like thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. In human nutrition, these are vital for energy metabolism, and in plants, they play similar roles in cellular respiration and stress response. Thiamine, for example, has been shown in some studies to help plants recover from transplant shock and stimulate root development, though the evidence is mixed regarding foliar uptake versus root absorption. Perhaps the most biologically active component of rice water, however, is not a nutrient at all, but a biological trigger. The starches serve as a carbon food source for soil microbes. When you add rice water to soil, you are essentially feeding the bacterial and fungal populations in the rhizosphere. This microbial bloom can accelerate the decomposition of organic matter, potentially releasing locked-up nutrients in the soil through mineralization. Fermented rice water takes this a step further. If allowed to sit for several days, lactic acid bacteria and yeasts consume the sugars, lowering the pH and producing organic acids, amino acids, and beneficial metabolites. This fermentation process transforms the liquid from a simple starch solution into a mild biostimulant. But here is the critical distinction. Fresh rice water is mostly inert starch, while fermented rice water is a biological inoculant. Understanding this difference is paramount because their effects on your lemon tree will be drastically different. Fresh rice water adds carbon and trace minerals. Fermented rice water adds biology and acidity. Neither is a complete fertilizer, and treating them as such is where most gardeners fail. Now, let's pivot to what your lemon tree actually needs so we can see where rice water fits into the bigger picture. Citrus trees, including lemons, are heavy feeders with specific nutritional demands that differ significantly from leafy greens or ornamental shrubs. First and foremost, they require consistent nitrogen. Nitrogen is the engine of vegetative growth, driving the production of chlorophyll, new shoots, and the canopy structure necessary to support fruit. A mature lemon tree in active growth may need several pounds of actual nitrogen per year, typically supplied through balanced citrus fertilizers or organic amendments like blood meal or composted manure. Rice water provides almost negligible nitrogen, meaning it cannot sustain the tree's primary growth requirements on its own. Second, lemon trees have an exceptionally high demand for potassium. Potassium regulates stomatal opening, water transport, enzyme activation, and crucially, fruit quality. It influences sugar accumulation, juice content, rind thickness, and disease resistance. Without adequate potassium, lemons become dry, acidic, small, and prone to splitting. Again, rice water offers only trace potassium, insufficient for fruiting stages. Third, calcium and magnesium are non-negotiable for citrus. Calcium strengthens cell walls, prevents blossom and rot-like disorders in fruit, and maintains soil structure. Magnesium is the central atom of the chlorophyll molecule. Deficiency causes the classic intervenal yellowing on older leaves that plagues so many backyard lemon trees. While rice water contains some magnesium and trace calcium, it is rarely enough to correct or prevent deficiencies in deficient soils. Then there are the micronutrients: iron, zinc, manganese, copper, and boron. Citrus are notoriously sensitive to micronutrient imbalances. Iron chlorosis, manifesting as pale young leaves with green veins, is rampant in alkaline soils. Zinc deficiency causes little leaf and rosetting. Here is where rice water actually aligns with plant needs. The trace iron, zinc, and manganese in rice water can supplement micronutrient intake, especially when used as part of a broader fertility program. Additionally, the slight acidity of fermented rice water can help solubilize iron and manganese in calcareous soils, making them more available for root uptake. The B vitamins may also support metabolic efficiency during periods of environmental stress. So, the connection is clear but limited. Rice water does not meet the macronutrient demands of a lemon tree, but it can support micronutrient status and soil biology. It is a supplement, not a substitute. Using it daily as a sole nutrient source will inevitably lead to starvation, regardless of how healthy the microbial population becomes. The tree will look green initially due to microbial activity releasing stored soil nutrients, but over weeks and months, the reserves deplete and decline sets in. Understanding this gap between what rice water provides and what lemon trees require is the foundation of using it safely and effectively. This brings us to the critical balance of benefits versus risks, because the line between nourishment and harm is thinner than you think. Used correctly, rice water offers genuine advantages. It introduces beneficial microorganisms that improve soil structure and nutrient cycling. It provides a gentle, non-burning source of micronutrients and B vitamins that can enhance overall plant resilience. It is sustainable, cost-free, and reduces kitchen waste. Many growers report improved leaf gloss, stronger new growth flushes, and better fruit set when using fermented rice water as part of a holistic regimen. The biostimulant effect can be particularly valuable during recovery from pruning, pest damage, or weather stress. However, the risks of incorrect use are severe and often irreversible. Applying rice water every day, as the question poses, is a recipe for root rot and anaerobic soil conditions. Starch is a carbohydrate, and excess carbohydrates in soil attract not just beneficial microbes, but pathogenic fungi, harmful bacteria, and fungus gnats. Daily saturation creates a perpetually wet, oxygen-depleted environment where roots suffocate and decay. Lemon trees are especially vulnerable to phytophthora and other water molds that thrive in soggy, starchy conditions. Furthermore, unfermented rice water can sour in the soil, producing alcohols and organic acids that burn tender feeder roots. Even fermented rice water, if applied undiluted or too frequently, can crash soil pH and disrupt the delicate microbial balance you are trying to cultivate. Salt buildup is another hidden danger. Rice absorbs sodium and chloride from irrigation water and processing, and repeated applications concentrate these salts in the root zone, causing tip burn and osmotic stress. The bottom line is this: rice water is a powerful tool when respected, but a destructive habit when abused. Moderation, preparation, and observation are your safeguards. Treat it like medicine, not water. So, how do you apply it correctly? Follow these steps precisely to maximize benefit and eliminate risk. Step 1. Always ferment your rice water. Never use fresh rinse water directly on lemon trees. Collect the second or third rinse water. The first rinse often contains dust and debris in a clean glass or food-grade plastic container. Cover loosely with a breathable cloth or lid to allow gas exchange while keeping out insects. Let it sit at room temperature for 3 to 7 days, depending on ambient warmth. You will know it is ready when it develops a pleasantly sour, yogurt-like aroma. If it smells rotten or putrid, discard it. That indicates harmful anaerobic bacteria have taken over. Step 2. Dilute aggressively. Fermented rice water is concentrated. Mix 1 part fermented rice water with 10 parts clean, non-chlorinated water. For young trees or container-grown lemons, use a 1:20 ratio. This dilution prevents salt accumulation, pH shock, and microbial overload. Step 3. Apply to moist soil only. Never pour rice water onto dry soil, as the sudden influx of organics can shock roots. Water your lemon tree thoroughly with plain water first, wait 30 minutes, then apply the diluted rice water. This ensures even distribution and prevents localized burning. Step 4. Target the drip line, not the trunk. Pour the solution evenly around the outer edge of the canopy where the active feeder roots reside. Avoid wetting the trunk base to prevent collar rot. For potted trees, apply slowly until you see drainage, ensuring the entire root ball receives the treatment. Step 5. Clean up spills. Wipe any residue from leaves, stems, or pot surfaces to prevent mold growth and pest attraction. Step 6. Use appropriate tools. A watering can with a fine rose attachment or a hose end sprayer set to low pressure works best. Avoid high-pressure jets that disturb soil structure. Step 7. Monitor closely after each application. Watch for signs of distress like wilting, yellowing, or foul odors. If observed, stop immediately and flush the soil with plain water. Consistency and method matters as much as consistency and timing. Timing is everything, and knowing when to abstain is as important as knowing when to apply. Do not use rice water during dormancy, typically late fall through winter in temperate climates. Lemon trees slow their metabolic processes during cool months, and adding organic substrates invites rot without providing benefit. Avoid application during extreme heat above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, as stressed roots cannot process additional inputs and evaporation concentrates salts. Never apply to waterlogged soil or immediately after heavy rainfall. Wait until the top 2 inches of soil are dry to the touch. Skip rice water during active flowering if your tree is prone to blossom drop, as sudden changes in soil chemistry can trigger abscission. Also avoid using it on newly transplanted trees for at least 6 weeks. Let roots establish in stable conditions before introducing variables. Conversely, the ideal time to apply fermented rice water is during active vegetative growth in spring and early summer, when microbial activity and nutrient demand peak. Early morning application is optimal, allowing excess moisture to evaporate before nightfall and reducing fungal risk. Late afternoon is acceptable if temperatures are moderate, but never apply in full midday sun. Frequency should be conservative. Once every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season is sufficient. Monthly applications are safer for container trees or those in humid climates. Remember, less is more. Your goal is to maintain a steady, gentle stimulation, not to flood the system. Track your applications in a garden journal alongside weather notes and plant responses. Over time, you will develop an intuitive sense of your tree's rhythm. Patience pays dividends. Rushing the process undermines it. Now, what can you realistically expect and when? Manage your expectations. Rice water is not a synthetic fertilizer with overnight results. In the first week after proper application, you likely will not see visible changes above ground. Below ground, however, microbial populations are responding, and root hairs may begin exploring newly activated nutrient zones. By weeks 2 through 4, attentive observers may notice subtle improvements, new growth emerging with deeper green coloration, existing leaves developing a healthier sheen, or reduced incidence of minor chlorosis. These are signs of improved micronutrient availability and root function. Between weeks 4 and 8, if your tree was mildly deficient or stressed, you may see accelerated shoot elongation, thicker stems, and more robust foliage density. Fruit-bearing trees might show improved flower retention or early fruit set, though this depends heavily on baseline nutrition and pollination. Significant structural changes, like filling in bare branches or correcting severe deficiencies, take months, not weeks. Rice water supports gradual, sustainable improvement rather than dramatic transformation. If you see no change after 8 weeks of correct application, reassess your soil test, light exposure, and overall fertility program. Rice water alone cannot compensate for fundamental deficits. Conversely, if you see decline within days, you have likely overapplied or used improperly prepared liquid. Flush immediately and pause for several weeks. Document your observations with photos and notes. Patterns emerge over seasons, not single applications. Trust the process but verify with data. Your lemon tree communicates through its growth habits. Learn its language, and rice water becomes a meaningful conversation, not a monologue. Growing citrus is a journey of patience, observation, and respect for natural systems. Rice water, used wisely, can be a beautiful expression of that philosophy, turning kitchen scraps into living soil and vibrant fruit. But remember, every tree is unique, and what works in one garden may need adjustment in another. Stay curious, stay humble, and always let the plant guide your hand. If this video helped you navigate the rice water question with clarity and confidence, please subscribe and share it with a fellow grower who deserves the truth behind the trend. Together, we are cultivating not just gardens, but wisdom. Thanks for watching and happy growing.